everyone, this is Christie, and thank you so much for joining me on Operation Remote Resilience. We're going to get started in just a few minutes, and as you can see, I've got a pillow nearby. You may or may not use it, but if you have a couple of minutes to run and grab one, you can use a bolster if you would like, or I just grabbed a pillow off of my couch, and then make your way to your mat. We'll start off today reclined, but before we get started, today we're going to systematically work through where we tend to hold stress. So it usually starts up in our jaw and in our neck, and then just by the way we carry ourselves, it moves down into our shoulders, into our core, and really into our hips. And we're going to slowly work through that, and there will always be options. So you can stay here or you can go here. You can stay here or you can go here. I do have my watch on because it is controlling the music, just to let you guys know. And this practice is really about what feels right into your body. So like I said, as we move through and you hear the word or, you can stay here or you can go here. You can stay here or you can start to move in this way. If one of the oars doesn't feel that great or doesn't feel right, you can always move back. So just know that that's always an option and it's always available to you. So like I said, everyone, we do have a pillow here. I'm going to start off seated and I'll still be mirroring you guys. There'll be some very simple movements, but everybody's going to start reclined down on their back. So everybody come on down to your back. Feet usually facing the front of the room or towards the camera, and then head facing down and away. And once you get there, you can either bend the knees, letting the feet come wide and the knees fall in towards one another, or you can allow the legs to come all the way out to straight. Maybe there's a little wiggle side to side of the hips. Maybe the arms are down by the sides and you can play with the palms facing up or down. Maybe the arms are going wide, opening up through the chest. Maybe even the elbows are bent and the arms are up over the head. But finding our way down onto our back and checking in with the legs and checking in with the hips. Checking in with the arms. Making your way up to the shoulders, maybe pulling them up towards the ears and then letting them settle back down. Moving side to side, and then checking in with the jaw. Maybe there's an open and close of the jaw. Maybe there's a head nod or a shake, yes and no. Rolling side to side, feeling the weight of the head against the back of the head as we move from side to side. If the knees are bent, feeling the feet press down into whatever's underneath of you. And if the legs are straight, feeling the heels and the calves and the backs of the legs pressing down into whatever's underneath of you. Maybe it's a mat or a carpet. And then we'll start to bend through the right knee. And if both knees are bent, go ahead and straighten out the left leg. So bending through the right knee, bringing the sole of the right foot down onto the floor and then letting that right knee fall down into the right. And then we have that pillow nearby. You can place it underneath of that right knee, the upper thigh, the calf, finding a nice place for it so that that right hip can start to feel supported. And you can start to allow the weight of the right leg to really fall down into whatever is underneath of it. Noticing the sensation across the outer hip, the inner thigh. And if there's any pain in that right knee, moving that pillow or bolster, whatever it is you have with you, closer to the hip than to the knee. Giving it a little extra support. And then starting to notice the breath on the inhales, maybe the chest expands, Maybe the lower abdomen expands. As you exhale, letting the head and the neck and the shoulders get heavy. Checking back in with the jaw. Maybe the lower jaw releases away from the upper jaw. Maybe the tongue even releases away from the roof of the mouth. And then using the right hand, help that right knee back up so that the sole of the right foot is back down onto the ground or the mat, whatever's underneath of you. And then using both hands, pulling the right knee into the chest. And if there's any pain or sensation that doesn't quite feel right in your body that's in the lower back, bending back through the left leg, bringing the sole of the foot back down onto the ground, but still hugging that right knee into the chest. And then staying here, hands can be on the backs of the thigh, hands can be on the tops of the shin. And if the hands are on the backs of the thigh, maybe even playing with moving that right leg between bent and less bent. I don't want to say straight because we're not quite ready there, but just playing with that hinge of the knee, maybe finding a little sensation through the back of the right leg. And then eventually you'll be moving into a twist, so you can either leave the left leg bent or you can bring it out towards straight, but then pulling that right knee up and over towards the left side of the mat, coming into a twist. Might need to shimmy the hips a little left and right to get there. And then checking back in with that breath, inhaling either through the nose or through the mouth, and just noticing the expansion or the movement that happens when we do inhale. As we exhale, letting it out through the mouth, it's like you're fogging up a mirror. Inhaling through the nose, feeling a little bit of expansion. As you exhale, let the breath out through the mouth. Making your way back up through to center. And you can bring both legs to straight, or if you would like to hug both knees into the chest for just a second, go ahead and do so. But eventually we'll meet with the right leg out to straight with the left knee bent. So left knee is bent, sole of the left foot is on the mat or the floor or the carpet, and then allowing that left knee to fall open and to the left. And again, you've got that pillow, so placing it underneath of the knee or the upper thigh or the lower leg, whichever one feels best for you. And if there's any pain in the knee, moving that pillow or that bolster closer to the hip. And then taking a second, noticing the breath, inhaling, this time feeling a little bit more expansion through the lower belly. And as you exhale, taking your time. Starting to make the exhales a little bit longer than the inhales. Inhaling, noticing the expansion, and as you exhale, allowing the head and the neck and the shoulders to get heavy. And then using the left hand, helping that left knee back up to the middle. Sole of the left foot is down on the ground. And then from here, you'll pull that left knee into the chest. Maybe hands are on the shin, maybe hands are on the backs of the thigh. And then staying here on the inhales, feeling the expansion, maybe even pressing into the upper thigh. And then staying here, maybe that other leg bends, bringing the sole of the foot down onto the mat. And then again, an option, maybe moving that knee between bent and less bent. Remember, not trying to move to straight just yet. Just noticing any sensation in the backs of the thigh. And if the head and the neck and the shoulders came up off of the mat, release the knee a little bit and allow the head and the neck and the shoulders to come back down. And then we're moving into a twist here. So maybe that right leg stays straight, maybe it stays bent or straight, whichever one. And then slowly starting to work that left knee up and over to the right, coming into that twist. Might need to shimmy the hips a little bit, moving left and right, and then allowing the arms to find wherever they can release a little tension. Maybe it's down by the sides. Maybe it's up over the head. Maybe the arms are coming wide. Noticing the breath, inhaling, finding expansion. Exhaling, finding a little heaviness. Inhaling, expansion through the lower belly. And as you exhale, taking your time, letting the exhales get a little bit longer than the inhales. Coming back up through to center and bending both knees, both soles of the feet down on the mat. Maybe you pull both knees into the chest for a little bit. It's totally up to you. And then switching legs, we'll put a bend into the right knee, start to straighten out the left leg. So right knee is bent, left leg is reaching out towards straight, left arm comes down by the side. We're gonna tent up onto the fingertips. It's almost like you have a little cupcake that's underneath of the hand, giving yourself something to press into. Finding again that press down through the sole, the ball of the right foot. And then extending the right arm up and over the head. So the right arm is extended up and over. Left leg is reaching away, opposites. Reaching through the ball of the left foot and the ring finger of the right arm. On an inhale, feel that lower belly or lower abdomen expand. As you exhale, pulling the knee and the elbow of the extended arm and leg in. On an inhale, reaching out, right fingertips and left toes. On an exhale, bring it in. 2 more, inhale, getting long. Exhale, pulling it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale in. Slowly switching. So this time bend into the left knee, the right leg straightens out. Right arm comes down by the sides, tenting up onto the fingertips. And then the left fingertips reaching up and over, so reaching through the ring finger of the left hand and then the ball of the right foot. On an inhale, find that lower belly abdomen expansion. As you exhale, take your time pulling the elbow and the knee towards the midline of the body. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, get long. Exhale, pulling the elbow and the knee towards the midline. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale in. Gently release, arms down by the sides. Bend through both of the knees, rolling onto either the left or the right side. And then using the top arm, pressing down. And we'll make our way first to our hips or to our knees. And then we'll come all the way down to prone. So coming onto the chest, legs extended behind you. So making your way down and then bringing the forearms down onto the mat. Forearms are down and then the hips and the elbows are nice and in line with one another. The wrists don't have to be exactly in line with the elbows. I have pretty tight shoulders, so my thumbs actually reach in towards one another a little bit. And then staying here for 3 rounds of breath, feeling the hip points press down while the chest pulls forward. On an inhale, finding that expansion through the lower belly. It might even press down into the mat or the floor underneath of you. As you exhale, letting the shoulders move down and away from the ears. Inhale, finding expansion. Exhale, stay. 2 more rounds of breath. This time moving the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then the left ear towards the left shoulder. Checking back in with the breath. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Gently starting to press through the hands, sitting the hips towards the heels. You guys stay facing the front of your mat. I'm going to face towards you guys. Actually, we'll start this way. So I'm gonna tuck the toes underneath. So I've got these toes tucked and we might feel a little sensation in the arches and that's okay. So once again, finding that tuck and then sitting the hips towards the heels. And this is gonna be a little uncomfortable. This just starts to help the hips open up. And if for whatever reason this is too much on the ankles or too much on the feet, you can always bring the hands forward. But starting here or with the hands on the ground, and then we'll start by inhaling, finding expansion through the front body. I'm gonna leave my hands on here. It's a little bit of a cow. And then as you exhale, rounding the upper back towards the ceiling, maybe the arms even reach out in front. Inhaling, finding that expansion through the front body. Exhaling, rounding through the upper back, and you can do this exact same thing with the hands on the ground if you would like, but 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale, expand through the front body. Exhale, expanding through the back body. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Bringing the hands back down, giving the tops of the feet, untucking the toes, a little tap. We have 1 more round of that. Just starting to tap into our hips through the soles of our feet. I'm gonna face you guys. And then so once again, finding that tuck of the toes. And if it was too much, sitting the hips towards the heels, leaving the hands grounded, and we'll start to find a push side to side, left and right, and you can leave. We're gonna move into a little lateral, and you guys can keep 1 hand down on the ground. But if we're sitting up, coming to that seated position with the hips over the heels, and then the left hand's gonna come down onto the left thigh, the right fingertips reaching up and over with the palm down. Big inhale, finding length through the right side body. Exhale, stay. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, reaching up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach. Staying here, inhale. Or you can exhale and bring the fingertips down. So options. Taking a few more rounds of breath just like this, remembering maybe we're sitting forward and we have 1 hand grounded. The inhales are centering and the exhales are lengthening. Or maybe we're sitting the hips to the heels and the hands stay on the thighs. We have 1 more round. Inhale, center. Exhale, over. Inhale, center. Exhale, over. Release, untucking the toes, giving them a couple taps. And then letting the toes come together and the knees coming apart, finding a child's pose. Maybe that just means the forearms are down. Maybe that means we even use that pillow and bringing the floor a little bit closer to us. Or if arms extended with the forehead down on the mat is better for you, but just finding that place where there is a little bit more ease. Concentrating on the breath, inhaling, finding expansion through the lower abdomen. Exhaling, letting the head and the neck and the shoulders get heavy. Inhale, finding a little bit of expansion. And then as you exhale, check back in with the jaw, maybe releasing the lower jaw away from the upper jaw, opening and closing. And then on your next inhale, grounding down through the hands, we'll start to shift the shoulders towards the wrists. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, sitting the hips back. Exhale, stay. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, either staying or you can start to spread the feet and let the hips press down. Inhale, shifting up. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale through to center. Exhaling, staying here or letting the hips sit forward. Inhale, move back through center as you exhale, hips to heels. 3 more rounds of breath, just like that. Full round of breath, moving you all the way forward. Big inhale, slow exhale. Inhaling, exhale. Inhale, shifting it forward. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, hips to heels. Inhale, shift. Exhale, stay or let the hips drop. Inhale, center. Exhale, stay. Last one, inhale, shift. Exhale, option. Inhale, center. Exhale, sit. On your next inhale, making your way to table. So finding the wrists underneath of the shoulders and the knees underneath of the hips. And if you take a look back, you shouldn't be able to see your ankles because they're in line with the knees. On your next inhale, tuck the toes. And then as you exhale, lifting the hips up and back. First downward facing dog of the day, keeping a big bend in the knees. And then I like to walk my feet out nice and wide toward the outer edges of the mat. And then finding stillness for a couple breaths, or you can start to alternate bending one knee and then the other. Maybe there's a little press side to side. And then everyone checking back in with the jaw on an inhale, and as you exhale, letting it out through the mouth, that fogging of a mirror. Inhale through the nose or the mouth. Exhale out through the mouth. Last one, inhale. Exhale. And then you have two options here. We're going to make our way to a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe that means hands walk back towards feet. Maybe that means the feet walk up towards the hands. But eventually, feet are towards the outer edges of the mat. Nice deep bend into the knees. Arms hang nice and heavy. And then staying here, finding a sway side to side. Maybe opposite elbows, grab opposite with opposite hands. Maybe we're working between bent and straight, or maybe the forearms are even on the side or on the thighs, and we're just letting the head hang nice and heavy. But coming back to that breath, noticing any tightness. Exhale. The next few rounds, rolling up one vertebra by one vertebra. And then stepping to the top of the mat, taking a big step back with your right foot, coming through lunge, staying high on the ball of the back foot, and then arms come up towards the ceiling, pressing back through the foot, but still keeping that bend in the knee, and that it's almost as if you're tucking the tailbone underneath of you, finding sensation through the front of the right hip. Inhale here. Exhale, stay. Inhale here. On your next exhale, spinning that back heel down to a 90-degree angle, making our way to a warrior two. So the back edge of the foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat, and then the arms reach out away from one another. And more often than not, this posture is practiced with the hands down, but today we're going to practice it with the hands up. And then once you get there, just noticing the sensation in the shoulders. The inhales, finding that expansion. And then the exhales, it's as if there's been weights placed in the hands, the shoulders release down away from the ears. Inhale, finding expansion through the lower abdomen. Exhale, those weights are in the hands and the shoulders move away from the ears. couple more rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, coming back onto the ball of the back foot, arms reach up. And then as you exhale, step it up to the top of your mat. I'm going to switch directions. You guys stay exactly where you are. And then this time we'll pick the left foot up, step the left foot all the way back. Bend through the back knee, pressing through the heel. Arms reach up and over. Inhale, finding length through the front of the left hip. Exhale, stay. Inhale, reach. This time as you exhale, that back heel spins down 90 degrees with the back edge of the mat. And then once again, traditionally the palms are facing down, but if today they can face up. Inhaling, finding that expansion. And as you exhale, it's as if somebody placed weights in the hands and the shoulders are allowed to come down and away from the ears. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, stay. 2 more rounds of breath, checking in with the sensation underneath of the feet. Is it hot? Is it cool? Is it rough or is it smooth? On your next inhale, coming high up on the ball of the back foot, arms come up. And then as you exhale, step it up. And then you guys staying where you are, facing the front. I'm going to come to the middle of my mat and then bringing the left hand to the abdomen and the right hand to the chest, helping us find a little balance. And then bending through the left knee, coming onto the ball of the left foot, allowing that left hip to open up. And I've placed the heel of my left foot above the ankle of my right foot, but I'm still pressing down through the ball of that left foot. And then concentrating on the sensation underneath of the feet. So the straight leg pressing down through the heel. And then the inner and the outer ball of the foot. Feeling how that press down, that rooting down allows you to stand a little bit taller. Once again, noticing the breath. Controlled inhales and slow exhales. Unwinding the leg. This time standing on the left leg and bending through the right knee, coming up onto the ball. Allowing that right hip to open and the heel of the right foot comes above the ankle of the left foot while the ball of the right foot is still pressing down. And then switching hands. Inhale, finding a little expansion. Exhaling, it's like somebody placed those weights on top of the shoulders and they're allowed to fall away from the ears. And bringing the attention to the left foot, pressing through the heel and the inner ball and the outer ball. 2 more rounds of breath just like that, finding expansion and pressing down, and on the exhale, standing a little taller. Gently unwind. We'll make our way all the way down to a comfortable seat. Keeping a bend in the knees, coming all the way down onto the back. And then the feet come wide. And the arms can either be down by the sides or bending at the elbows or all the way up and over. But when you're here, finding a big inhale. And then as you exhale, the knees fall down and to the right. Inhaling through center. Exhaling, knees to the other direction. Inhale, spine center. Exhales, knees fall. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees come down. And then taking a few more rounds of breath just like that. Or you can start to let the knees fall in towards one another with the feet wide. And then staying exactly where you are, I'm going to make my way to a comfortable seat, but you stay there. And then just making our way from the top back down to the bottom, letting the head move from left to right. Feeling the weight of the head against the mat or the carpet. And then for the next few rounds of breath, bringing your attention to the jaw, allowing the lower jaw to release away from the upper jaw, and the tongue to release away from the roof of the mouth. And then for the next few rounds of breath, noticing the sensation across the neck. Seeing if there's any place that we can let those muscles release. Bringing our awareness to the space across the shoulders. And as you exhale, allowing them to fall away from one another. And for the next few rounds of breath, the awareness is in the hips. Take your time. Let the body awaken slowly, maybe wiggling the fingers or the toes. Maybe starting to deepen the breath. And then you take as much time as you need to come back to a comfortable seat and move about your evening. But thank you so much for joining me as part of Operation Remote Resilience. This is Christie, signing off in health, resilience, and connection.